day one of the round of 32 in the U.S. Open Cup, there's really only two games that stood out the most last night, and that was the Detroit-Louisville game and the Kansas City-Dallas match. Now, in that Detroit-Louisville match, both of these teams were evenly matched. And these are the type of matches where you'll be satisfied. I want to say you'll be loved for the game to end in a tie, but you'll be satisfied if the game ends in a tie because both teams played well and both teams, they were just going at it. Now, in the first half of this match, it looked like this was getting ready to be a high-scoring affair because both teams were really energetic. Both teams were going at it. Like when Detroit scored first, Louisville quickly answered back. And they literally answered back within 10 minutes. After Detroit scored on the penalty kick, Louisville came back within 10 minutes and they scored. And it looked as if this was going to be a high scoring affair. And there is no doubt in my mind that this game was going to extra time after how both teams played in the second half, because in the second half, both teams, they slowed down a little bit. The scoring, it seemed like they're more so playing on the defensive edge. And for many people, this was their first time ever watching Detroit or Louisville playing in a game. And this is a victory for the USL. It's a win for the USL because not only did you have two clubs that has the potential of growing and is currently growing in their respective cities, but both clubs have been very competitive and been playing well in the USL Championship. Both teams have been playing well in the US Open Cup, and they're playing well in their respective league, the USL Championship. So Louisville won on penalty kicks. So Louisville advances to the next round. It means Detroit is eliminated. But there are some other aspects of this match that stood out to me. Aspects that took place off the field from the Detroit fans. I saw a group that was happy. I saw a group of fans that was joyful. I saw a group of fans that wanted to be there. And when it comes to Detroit sports, within the past 15 years, I'm not used to seeing that. When it comes to Detroit sports, I'm used to seeing angry Lion fans with the cardboard bag over their face, acting like they don't want to be there, but for some reason they're still there. Because if they didn't want to be there, they just wouldn't show up. I'm used to seeing empty seats at the Detroit Pistons games. I'm used to seeing empty seats at Detroit Tigers games. When it comes to the state of Michigan in general, the only time I really see fans really interested in a game is at University of Michigan football, a men's basketball game, and Michigan State football, men's basketball game, and maybe Western Michigan University football to a certain extent, to a certain degree, especially when PJ Fleck was the head coach over there. But when it comes to Michigan, professional sports, and Detroit, professional sports in particular, a joyous, happy group of people at a game is something that I'm not accustomed to seeing, but I saw that last night. I didn't see that angry, drunk, 300-pound, angry-looking fan with a big belly, looking like it's full of diabetes, just screaming and cussing people out. The type of fans that I saw in Detroit last night, it's a sign of hope. It represented a sign or a movement that's taking place in the city, that better days are ahead. If any of you watched the full game, After the Detroit player missed the penalty kick that that sealed Louisville's win, did you see how the fans reacted? The first thing they did was, of course they were upset. You heard some people screaming, "Oh no," But briefly after that, what did they do? They gave both teams a round of applause. The Detroit fan base showed a sign of good sportsmanship before the players. And the players fed off of the fans' good sportsmanship, and they started congratulating the Louisville football team. I am not used to seeing Detroit sports fans have good sportsmanship. I am not used to seeing Detroit sports fans act like that. The Detroit fans that I saw last night, I'm not used to seeing that. I'm used to seeing angry fat Lion fans with the cardboard bag over their face, sticking up their middle fingers to the camera. I'm used to angry, unenergetic Pistons fans just sitting in their seats. I'm not used to seeing Detroit fans clap for their home team in a loss. But I saw that last night. And that right there is a sign that better days are ahead in the city. Who would have thought that when it came to restoring the city of Detroit, that when it came to bringing new life to the city of Detroit, that a professional football club, a professional traditional football club, that's not even on the major level, that's not even tier 1 professional level, but a tier 2 professional soccer club will lead the charge in restoring a major city, a major American city. Who would have thought that? At first, people thought that Matthew Stafford was going to be the savior of Detroit. Then people thought that Jim Harbaugh was going to be the savior of Detroit. Some even thought it was going to be Calvin Johnson. But nope, it's going to be the Detroit City Football Club. The Detroit City Football Club is the one that's going to resurrect the city. Years of depression, years of anger, years of despair, years of being betrayed. The Detroit City Football Club is the one that's going to resurrect the city from the grave, from the darkness. I mean, look at the logo. Just look at the logo. On the palm of one hand is the city. The palm of the other hand is the sun. The Detroit City Football Club is bringing life back to the city. And the reason why I believe this and the reason why I'm saying this is because how the fans reacted after they lost. I have never seen any Detroit professional sports fans applaud their team after a loss. I've never seen it. Last night was my first time ever seeing that. And this is why the Detroit City Football Club must be protected at all costs. They must be protected by any means necessary. City of Detroit, if you're looking for your professional soccer team, your professional traditional football club, it's here. It's already here. This is the club that you need to rally around. This is the club that you need to support. This is the club that you must protect from billionaire moguls who will try to come into the football arena, the traditional football arena, and disrupt things. They're just disruptors. The Detroit City Football Club must be protected by any means necessary because they are the one that is going to restore the city. They're already doing it right now. They're the ones that's washing all the filth and the mess that the Ford family and other corrupt politicians have left behind. They're the ones that's cleaning up the mess. Now the other match, Dallas, Kansas City. I actually turned to this game after the Detroit-Louisville game. Dallas was leading 2-1. I did not see a Kansas City comeback. I don't know what kind of spirit was injected into the Kansas City football players, I don't know if it was the spirit of Patrick Mahomes. That's what it was. The spirit of Patrick Mahomes was injected into the Kansas City Football Club within the last 5 minutes of regulation, which enabled them to tie the game and force it to extra time. And that spirit of Patrick Mahomes rested inside the Kansas City Football Club in leading them to win the game. I don't know if Dallas got too relaxed. I don't know if Dallas got too tired. I don't know if Dallas got too arrogant. But one thing I know was that the spirit of Patrick Mahomes was inside that Kansas City Football Club, and it prevented them from losing that game. The question is, will this same spirit of Patrick Mahomes stay with the Kansas City Football Club, which will enable them to not only win the U.S. Open Cup overall, but to also resurrect a football club who is a pioneer of the MLS? A pioneer football club that have seen other clubs like other clubs like Seattle, Atlanta, LAFC, NYCFC, seen those clubs surpass them as premier football clubs. Atlanta, Seattle, LAFC, NYCFC. Sporting KC has been around longer than them. But those 4 clubs are doing better than Sporting KC. They're spending more money than Sporting KC. Their actions show that they want to be great. In recent years, Kansas City's actions haven't really shown that. Yes, Sporting KC made the playoffs last year. They made the playoffs last year. But that tenacious spirit to want to be great like Atlanta, that tenacious spirit to want to dominate like Seattle, that tenacious spirit to get its stamp of approval as a legitimate professional football club like NYCFC and LAFC, you don't see that in Sporting KC. But guess what? I saw it last night. I saw in the final 5 minutes of regulation, I saw a Sporting KC football club that said enough. I saw a Sporting KC football club that said, we are not going to lose anymore. This is our time. And we are going to use this U.S. Open Cup to resurrect ourselves. We are going to be the pioneers to resurrect ourselves in this U.S. Open Cup. But guess who else said the same thing last night? There was another pioneer in the East Coast that played with that same tenacious spirit as Kansas City last night. There's a team in the East Coast that played in dominating fashion just like Sporting KC last night. And that was the New York Red Bulls. The New York Red Bulls this season, they have been a different team. They have been a team that I'm not used to seeing. Yes, the Red Bulls made the playoffs last year, but this team this year looks far more better than the team last year. The New York Red Bulls witness the homeless team, the homeless football club. NYCFC get a championship before them. And now it looks like they're saying, we'll be damned if they become the premier football club of New York. We got some catching up to do. And we're going to make our mark in this U.S. Open Cup. We are going to use this U.S. Open Cup to send a message to the nation that we're coming. Now let me tell you something, pioneers. New York Red Bulls, Kansas City, San Jose, Colorado. Now let me tell you something, the pioneers that remain in this U.S. Open Cup. One of you winning this U.S. Open Cup, you can use this to send a message to the nation that you're back. Any pioneer winning this U.S. Open Cup, you can use this to send a message to the nation that this is a new era in New York Red Bulls history, that this is a new era in Sporting Kansas City history, a new era in Colorado, San Jose history. That's what you can do with this. In San Jose, the spotlight's going to be on you tonight because you play Seattle, the continental champion. What a great opportunity for you to put the nation on notice that you're back by first beating Seattle and then going to win it all. It won't only work by you just beating Seattle and then losing in the next round. You got to beat Seattle and then you go win it all. Anyhow, day one, the New York Red Bulls and Kansas City stole the show. But be on the lookout for Louisville. Louisville is an up-and-coming football club. And Louisville look like they can compete with anybody. And when I say anybody, I'm talking about anybody in the MLS. We already know they can compete against anybody in the USL. Like, if you didn't know, Louisville is one of the best teams in the USL. But when it comes to on the national landscape against MLS, we don't know much about Louisville. But from what I'm seeing, Louisville can compete against anybody. And Louisville looks as if they're the USL's hope. They're the main team. And like, if for the USL to win the championship, it's going to have to be Louisville. I mean, we'll see where Richmond and Rochester and Omaha, Northern Colorado and San Antonio, Sacramento, Phoenix, we're going to see what they do tonight in day two. But as of right now, from what it's looking, Louisville looks like the favorite, the USL favorite to win the US Open Cup. But Phoenix and Sacramento and San Antonio, those are not bad clubs either. So after day two, we'll really see who's the true favorite. But as of right now, it's looking like Louisville. As for Detroit, I see a lot of hope. Not only with the football club, the Detroit Football Club, but the city as a whole. I see a lot of hope. So citizens of Detroit, continue to keep your head up because the city will rise, because it's rising right now. The city is being restored.